Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the March 5th, 2024 BOCC meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing we have on our agenda are our minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No.
Good to me. I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, February 27th, 2024. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, planning. Come on down. All right, we have a public hearing first thing this morning. Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Braden Jones, agent Erick Ireland, on property located at 38511 Road H, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 26.29 acres more or less, located east of Highway 160, north of Road H, situated on Section 36, Township 36 North, Range 14 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgov community You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of February 2024, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024.
Thank you, Kim. All right, Don, would you give us an overview?
Sure. Mr. Jones is proposing a two-lot minor subdivision on his property over by Mancos. He's looking to split 5 acres off of the 26-acre parcel. And agent Eric here is proposing to purchase that property. Mr. Jones has an existing residence on the property, and Mr. Ireland has purchased a water tap and is proposing to build there.
Okay, and this is, we've kind of seen drawings of this before. Mr. Ireland, would you like to add anything?
I have nothing to add, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions prior to?
I don't have anything.
I really don't. I think we discussed this before, and
Yeah.
no, that's
Okay.
And so just so the record's clear, this came before us
As a-
prior as a 3-lot
Yep.
and
It was a 4-lot
Four
or
lot,
4-lot. Yeah, yep.
moderate, and now it's a 2-lot minor.
So, all right, well then, seeing no questions from the commission at this time, I'll open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time.
Wesley Rivera, 38626 County Road H. I will be directly across the street from the proposed development. And my question now is, I received a letter, and I think you all should have it, down to 22, where it states no further development is planned at this time. I question that because my neighbor, who is a cattle rancher, was speaking to me last night saying that Dr. Jones's I guess live-in girlfriend came over while he was feeding his cattle. He runs about 100 head just next door to me, and asked him when he was going to do this because she didn't appreciate the dust that it was causing and the noise from the tractor, etc. And she said, we are having some people come in to look at buying this property. It was plural. And so I'm very concerned, is this just to mollify us at this time and we're going to have to revisit this issue when they want to resplit again, because this is an agricultural area. And I feel it's a little odd that you've moved in and you go to a rancher who is actively feeding his cattle on the land across from them, asking him this. And I grew up on a farm, 1,200-acre farm in California, and I've never seen dust and noise not happen when you're working with animals. So that is my concern, is this just semantics and it's going to mollify us until we all calm down and then come back and do another split? We have a 2-inch water line, and that's my concern. I spoke to the water man yesterday. There are no plans to increase that water line. And if we start getting all these houses, nobody's going to have any water pressure, and this has not been a good year for snow and moisture. So that is my concern at this time. And since Mr. Ireland is his agent, can he possibly answer this question?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else?
Good morning. Danette Dillon, 38808 County Road H. And just to piggyback on what Wesley was saying, it does appear that they are going to try and develop other areas. There is already an existing driveway right here at this corner. This is the 5.1 acre parcel that Mr. Ireland is looking at. But they, like the original plan, they are putting the road here. And we believe that it's to get additional subdivision later down the road. Otherwise, if Eric just wanted access to his property, he would probably already go here where there's already a road, driveways to 2 other properties over here, and that's direct access to his property right there. There's a gate there, everything is ready to go. And so our main question is, are there plans for other potential development? Are we allowed to direct questions to Mr. Ireland? No, thank you.
You can ask a question and then we will give him the time, but right now it's your time to talk.
Okay, thank you. And then we want to know if they are securing other water taps to potentially sell further subdivision developments, because according to what the living girlfriend said, that she was showing lots, and that was plural. And also in the planning and zoning paperwork, it does say lots on there. So, and I think in the paperwork, it also says that there is already a septic system, and that is only for the original house, not for the new development. And we were curious what kind of ag they were going to be doing, since it seems like the girlfriend is opposed to ag. So we were curious what kind of ag was going to be going in. The water is of great concern to all the neighborhood. You know, they do have one tap that the gentleman at the water company said is they are approved for, but he plans no other further development down that line because of the 2-inch line that is there. So we just kind of are curious if this is just like an initial plan, because it seems like there's a lot of talk about it being more lots and more development. So we'd kind of like to get clarification from the person, Eric, who's acting on behalf of Braden Jones. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Okay, seeing no further public comment, I will close the public comment section of this application, and I will, Don, either give you, I'm sorry.
And real quick, Commissioner, before we turn it back, I mean, this application is what's before us. And so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're considering at this point. We don't look at what may occur in the future, what applications might come before us. This is the application that's before us, and so, in answering any questions that were posed, keep that in mind. I mean, this is what we're looking at. We're not looking at future.
Correct. So with that, I will, Mr. Ireland, if you'd like to answer any of those, I will give you the opportunity to speak.
All along, when there was the initial 4-lot moderate, there has only been with the intention to have one single new residence with all of these subdivisions. That is still the plan. I do know Dr. Jones has acquired an additional water tap, but it was been notified to me that they would not be able to decide if they could honor that tap in a timely manner. So Dr. Jones has proceeded, as you guys have requested, with just a 2-lot minor subdivision. The very first time this was brought before Planning and Zoning, multiple neighbors said that they thought a driveway being on the eastern aspect of the property would infringe on other neighbors. So we have tried to put it as far away from the others as to cause minimal impact to others. That's what I know about it at this time. There's no plans to have any additional residences, but I do believe he is looking at selling another small portion down the line for agricultural purposes to a local nonprofit that will use it as a vegetable garden. That's all I know.
Okay. All right.
And I would just like to clarify too, I mean, this board didn't recommend anything. Folks can bring applications before this board, but I want to be very clear, just for the record, that we didn't endorse this application. We didn't do anything like that beforehand. This was an application that was filed with Planning and Zoning, and that's the applicant's choice. That's not something that this board in any way endorsed.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring it back to the commission that we have no other things to look at. What we're looking at right now is a 2-lot subdivision, and that's all we're looking at is a 2-lot subdivision. We do have all of the utilities from reading the packet. Everything is there. So with that, gentlemen, questions, comments?
Recommendation from the planning commission.
Planning and zoning was unanimous to recommend it for approval. And most every other residence is on a subdivision lot around there.
Commissioner?
I don't really have any questions. It meets with all of our criteria, and it's going to happen.
And we don't oversee what kind of
What I
ag.
mean by that is growth in our community is going to happen. And we do our best to try and control that growth in a way that we can all live with, I guess, lack of a better term. So, Gerald, do you have anything?
At the old residence, is there just one house there still, or is there?
There is a house and a mother-in-law quarters on the original residence.
Just the two?
Correct.
Okay.
So you have an ADU and a house.
Right, right. So currently, they can't add another residence to that parcel
Okay.
without getting permitted.
Right.
And we don't oversee any type of ag that's
Correct. So it's
not covered in the land use code. We don't see that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I was concerned about.
I would so move we approve the proposed 2-lot minor subdivision in AR 3 through 9 and AR 10 through 34 rezoning applications submitted by Braden Jones, agent Erick Ireland, on property located at 38511 Road H, Mancos.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed 2-lot minor subdivision in AR 3 through 9 and AR 10 through 34 rezoning applications submitted by Braden Jones, agent Erick Ireland, on property located at 38511 Road H, Mancos, Colorado. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I will close this public hearing, and you are done, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, being at 9:10, do we have the other Yep, coming on down. Good morning. All right, we have another public hearing set for 9:10, so Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Melanie Filener on property located at 21439 Road U, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 26.52 acres more or less, located east of Highway 491, north of Road U, situated in Section 7, Township 37 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the planning office's online services at https://co-monezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the planning department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of February, 2024, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, give us an overview on this one.
Sure. Ms. Filener is proposing to do a two-lot minor. She would split off the house and 3 acres along with the pond there on the south end of the property. Access to the north ag land is proposed on the west side of her house. It would be a combined driveway for that ag access. There would not be a request for a CDOT access off of Highway 491. That's basically it.
So the access is on,
It's on the west.
On the west
The
side,
driveway's
right?
on the west side of the residence.
okay. So then it would just go through to the
Right.
back.
The
to the
east
north
side's a
side.
little problematic, just depending, because the pond's there. Just depends, if there's an adequate alternate access off of the county road. But right now, the most likely access would be a combination driveway on the west side of the house.
Okay. Ms. Fowler, would you like to add anything?
No, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Commissioners, questions at this time? Any?
No.
I don't have anything right
Okay.
now.
All right, well, then I will open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application, and I will bring it back to the commissioners. Gentlemen.
I have nothing further.
Nor do I.
I guess, Mike, how close are you talking about making that access on the west side of the house? Is that,
Right now, the current driveway is more centrally located.
Mhm.
There would be an easement allowed to make another driveway to the west of the house, should someone want to buy the other property and not the house. But as it is now, they can get in and there's an easement around the west side, that would go on the west side up to a gate that's right there, that goes into the agricultural land.
So the way I understand it, it's clear on the west side of the property.
Right.
Is that correct? That's where that easement would be, or access would be to the
Right.
north 23 acres. So it's-
Right now, they can access
Yeah, I know.
easily to the driveway. And it's like another drive, the
Yep.
road that goes around there.
it just concerns me is with that school right across the road, right there. That's all I was thinking about, with the school right across the road, how much,
I did see in the packet that the school district was sent out a,
Yeah, they received a letter, I heard.
a letter. So, I'm good.
I guess I don't think it'll be a problem, so that's all I was concerned about, was that
Right, and like I said, I know that they were sent a letter, and if they had any comments, because that was my first concern too, and now that you said that it's gonna be moved clear to the west side of the property, I think their access, of course, they access the entire parking lot, so, like
Yeah.
you said, I get that, I understand that, but I think it's, without any comment from them, they don't have any opposition.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I move to approve this proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Melanie Filener on property located at 21439 Road U, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Melanie Filener on property located at 21439 Road U, Cortez, Colorado. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I will close this public hearing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
You are approved.
Thank you.
Have a great day. All right, 9:20, we're right on time. We do have the next applicants in the room. Come on down. Charles and Lori Hall. Hi. How are you? Good today. Good. Okay, with that, Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination regarding a proposed 7-lot major subdivision and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Charles and Lori Hall on property located at 13136 Road 32, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 36.80 acres more or less, located east of Road 32, south of Road P, situated in Section 1, Township 36 North, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 at 9:20 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of February, 2024, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, give us an overview on this one.
Sure, Mr. Hall is proposing a 7-lot major subdivision. And the southeast lot, that 9-acre lot, that had an existing residence on there that burned. That Mr. Hall's cleaned that up, so there's an existing septic system already on that property. But he's looking to put in what would be a red sign subdivision road with a cul-de-sac that would access 5 of the properties, and then the bottom southwest property would have access off of the county road.
Okay, would you like to add anything, Mr. Hall?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I do live right across the street. That's currently a hayfield that I use, that we're dividing up. So yeah, the house did burn down some time ago. That's about it, really.
okay. All right, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Don answered the question I had about the access to the 6.27 acres there on the bottom on the southwest.
Yeah, Mr. Hall's other subdivision there at the south end of his other property, he's got a driveway access easement there to the west, and so more than likely the driveway would be permitted straight across from that one to access the 6-acre parcel and stay away further from that corner.
Yeah.
I did check some of the setback, or the county's 300-foot view restriction, and I do qualify for a driveway on that parcel.
Okay.
Okay,
The power company and the water company has also said that I can pull power off the road from that lot. And the water is on that side of the street, luckily, so it's been easier. I do currently have a tap that goes to the back, from the road to that 9-acre lot.
Mhm.
I intend on cutting that line off and making it go to that 4.5-acre lot that's right on the county road, because that's where the tap sits now. Because I can't guarantee that old water line that runs all the way to the back, because I don't know who put it in or what it was. And I'm having the water company's gonna come in and put a water main down the driveway. So that, each of those lots, with the exception of that 6th lot, have access off, to the water, much easier that way for me, rather than running 6 lines down the easement.
Yeah.
So we are gonna put a water line in. There's already an overhead power right there also that, we're gonna draw off of for the lots.
Okay.
The northeast 5-acre lot, there's a structure down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Does that meet the setbacks?
It will be surveyed to meet that
Okay.
30-foot setback, because that's a new property line going in.
Right.
Mhm. So it'll meet all the setback requirements,
Right.
yeah, from the structures.
Those buildings are gonna be grandfathered in my covenants and restrictions due to the fact that they won't meet the, necessary size requirement. They can't turn it into a house. Some of them are sitting, currently, they're sitting, one of them is about 28 feet from the property line currently. So there is a little bit of, Gene and I have been working on pushing that line back a little bit at a time to try and get clear of that. So that is a concern and something that we are addressing with the survey.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a minimum 30 feet, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
even for a residence now, so we don't have that 50-foot requirement anymore.
Yep. Okay, Commissioner, question? All right. I will then open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application, and I will bring it back to the commissioner. Gentlemen, any further questions or comments? Planning and zoning's recommendations?
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval. The only condition was to relay to the new owner of each lot about the presence of our land use code.
Okay. All right.
Gerald,
What's
you
your
got
pleasure?
anything?
No, I mean, that looks like it's,
Yeah. I'll lay down. I would so move we accept the proposed 7-lot major subdivision and AR 3 through 9 rezoning applications submitted by Charles and Lori Hall on property located at 13136 Road 32, Mancos.
second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed 7-lot major subdivision and AR 3 through 9 rezoning applications submitted by Charles and Lori Hall on property located at 13136 Road 32, Mancos, Colorado. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I will close this public hearing, and you have been approved, sir.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rusty.
I'll get your sign.
Okay, we have one more public hearing. Do we have the applicant?
I do not believe he has made it.
Okay, do we have him on
No.
Zoom? Okay, well, my computer says I have
45 seconds.
45 seconds, so we'll wait for 45 more seconds.
If not, planning would like to proceed on his behalf.
Okay? You know, we used to depend on our county administrator to have some kind of joke, so we had these 45 seconds long. So is that,
Sorry to disappoint you, sir. You know, you're a new grandfather. You gotta come up with this stuff, you know, to entertain these grandkids.
All right, well, it is 9:30, so
Good job, Travis.
with that,
I was thinking. See?
we will proceed with this public hearing. Would you call the roll, please? Ken?
And before we do, I just want to make sure, planning's not representing this landowner, they're just laying out the application.
Correct.
It's a total, I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the verbiage there. No, we will proceed to present his application.
Perfect.
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Bernard Hafner on property located at 19082 Road W. Lewis, Colorado, consisting of 36.10 acres more or less, located east of Road 19, south of Road W, situated in Section 2, Township 37 North, Range 17 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, at 9:30 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 12th day of February, 2024, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, give us an overview on this one.
Sure, Mr. Hafner is proposing a two-lot minor subdivision on his 36 acres. It would be creating a 3-acre lot there in the middle. The property has an existing 2 residents on it that are in the northwest corner of the 36 acres, but they would not be encompassed by this proposed lot. But there would be plenty of setback distance from the easternmost house. All his utilities are in for the 2 existing residents, and that's basically it.
Okay, Commissioners, any questions?
I don't.
I don't have any right now.
Okay. All right, well, with that, I'll open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium. State your name and address for the record, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application. Gentlemen,
I have nothing further.
pretty straightforward. Planning and zoning's recommendation.
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval.
Okay. Go ahead.
I move to approve this proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Bernard Hoffner on property located at 19082 Road W, Lewis, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed two-lot minor subdivision in AR 3-9 and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Bernard Hoffner on property located at 19082 Road W, Lewis, Colorado. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that one is also approved, and I will close this public hearing.
Thank you.
And with that, we have 4 more items, which looks like it's just a bunch of signatures.
Right, so on the Barbara Benavides exemption amendment, there needed to be some ownership name corrections. So this is just the signing of the revised plat to
Okay.
get those corrected. On the Mark Lau investments, they, this was approved last year and signed and recorded, but they are changing the water line easement. So it's just an updated plat to encompass that and amend that. As far as the easement goes, not as far as any kind of water, lot changes, anything amended there. The other two are just the previously approved exemption for Brandon Sloan and Hindmarsh, and then the boundary line adjustment that was approved last week for the Mountain Ute tribe.
Okay.
So how did you do?
They were good.
Yeah.
Two big hammer dunks. That big guy was every bit of 6'8", 255. He could move. It wasn't just him. It looked like they all lived in the weight room. Big, strong, athletic kids. So, they beat us 72 to 19. Then they played a private school from Indy the next day. They beat them 55 to 14. And they just
Pretty
Okay,
much wraps up everything we got for now.
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
This is a good part down here.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is the public comment session. Board of County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. And with that, the public comment session of this meeting is open.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Lynch, and I live at 21730 Road S. This morning, I want to offer you what I think is evidence that some of the Montezuma County voters had their ballots changed in the 2020 election. If you talk with the clerk and recorder, she should be able to confirm for you what a cast vote record is. The definitions I found at electionsecurity.glossary.com are as follows. 1, archival, tabulatable record of all votes produced by a single voter from a given ballot from the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, NIST. Number 2, a record of the system's interpretation of the voter's choices on the ballot that is created and stored by the electronic voting system. The voting system should be able to produce a report of these data. If the electronic system can export a file of the cast vote records for all the ballots in a way that allows each ballot to be associated to its interpretation of the voting system, the file can be used for auditing purposes. And that's from Checking the Paper Record, a guide for public oversight of tabulation audits, Verified Voting Foundation. Number 3, a permanent record of all votes produced by a single voter, whether in electronic, paper, or other form, also referred to as a ballot image when used to refer to electronic ballots, from Glossary of Terms Database, U.S. Election Assistance Commission. So one record includes how one voter voted all the way across the ballot. I submitted a CORA request for a file containing all the cast vote records for our county for the 2020 election. I submitted that request to the county clerk and recorder's office prior to the date these data could be erased. I think they can be erased after 25 months in Colorado. The file is generated by an elections official who selects the report from choices offered on the election machines. The report is generated by the machines. This data is supposed to include information about what kind of ballot was voted, to include at least mail-in ballots and in-person ballots. Whether it can include more types than those would be a question for the clerk and recorder. I recently reviewed the data more closely and found to my surprise that 100% of the ballots in Montezuma County were recorded in the cast vote records for that election as mail-in votes. That means the machines recorded all votes, whether mail-in or in person, as mail-in votes. How many were in-person votes? I can almost guarantee that 100% of Montezuma County voters did not vote by mail-in ballot. There were probably some in-person votes, some ballot box votes, some military votes, some absentee ballot votes, etc. What happened to our voting records? The machines changed ballot types to be 100% mail-in and nothing else. What other parts of our ballots were changed by these machines? How would anyone know if other information was changed, like which candidate was selected for president? Or how would we know? No one goes back and verifies the count with the paper records. So how do we know our votes weren't changed at the same time that our ballot type was changed? When are the elected officials, officers of our county, going to recognize the need for hand-counted ballots? If you want a copy of that CVR file, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. All right, seeing no further public comment, we'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we're going to go right into unfinished business. I see Emily online, and right now we're going to have a discussion as it's related to the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between CSU and the Fair Board. Ian, I know that you've looked this over. Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
This looks completely reasonable to me. I don't have any issues.
Okay, with that, Emily, do you want to?
Yes. Do I have anything to add? I guess if you guys want any background, we were just tightening up some things, really outlining who supervises who, like with the superintendents at Fair. So I think we were able to clarify some things that'll help us going forward with working with the Fair Board. And CSU had some really minor things, like in there it said that the Fair Board had full discretion to use the 4-H logo, and they really need to ask permission for certain things. So we just clarified things like that.
Okay.
So we're happy with it.
All right, gentlemen, do you have any questions? I looked it over. I have
No.
none at all.
Yeah,
It's pretty straightforward.
I move to approve this memorandum of understanding between Montezuma County Fair Board and Colorado State University System.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the memorandum of understanding between the Montezuma County Fair Board and the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University Systems operating as CSU Extension Office. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I think we all three need to sign this, guys.
If you all three sign it, and then I think the last signatures, I have to take it up to CSU legal. So Travis can bring it back to me when I'm back in town.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Emily. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Next up, we have a liquor license renewal for the Mancos Brewing Company LLC. Ms. Frizzell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Jerry Frizzell. I do the liquor license renewals and new applications for Montezuma County. Today I have one for Mancos Brewing Company LLC, located at 484 East Frontage Road, Mancos, Colorado, 81328. Got the letter back from the sheriff. They've had no violations.
Okay.
I would so move we approve the liquor license renewal application for Mancos Brewing Company LLC, located at 484 East Frontage Road, Mancos, Colorado, 81328.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and approve the retail liquor license renewal application submitted by Mancos Brewing Company LLC, located at 484 East Frontage Road, Mancos, Colorado, 81328. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Mel, we're going to talk about a proposal for the landfill for construction of cell number 5.
So the RFP has been put up on the website, thanks to you, Commissioner Candelaria and Travis, for your help on this. missed one word in this bid. We took it out, had IT take it out yesterday, and it's for the leachate gravel. There was a word in there that says purchase. They're not gonna purchase the gravel. It's already on-site and pre-staged. I wanna make that pretty clear to the bidders, and I'll reinforce this next Thursday during the walkthrough.
Yeah.
So all the documents should be on site, and if anybody has any questions, they can give me or our consulting firm a call.
And if you need to, you can just add that in an addendum at the walkthrough. The consultant can then send it out to make sure that that clarification is there specific, that they know that they're not purchasing that material.
Right, yeah. IT
Perfect.
took that word out yesterday, so thanks to Rob Engelhardt, he actually caught that. I missed it when I was reading through it, so it's gone now, so I don't know how many people have downloaded that, but I have let several contracting companies know that it's up,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, this occupied quite a bit of our time for a couple days.
It did,
Last
yeah.
week, trying to get this proposal put together and put out. Thank you, Ian, for all your work and submittals. I know you were on the road, but getting it back as far as the language for the contract. But thank you, Mel, for getting it out. We'll see where we end up with.
Great, yeah, there's a lot there to read, so.
What did our last sale cost us to open up?
The last cell, we built that ourselves.
Okay.
And it ran about $650,000. It was a little bit over budget. This one is gonna be quite a bit more, because I don't have time or the manpower equipment to do it.
Right.
Too much stuff going on, so this reason we're having to put this one out for bid. We just don't have the time to do it. But, thanks to Rob at the road department, the gravel's already crushed and on site. I think they're gonna finish hauling the gravel in there today. That's what he told me, so we're about ready to go whenever they want to get started on it. So hopefully May, somewhere in there. It's in the dates are in the bid.
I think we started March 1st that we would put it on the website for advertising on our website. Obviously, it'll go out further than that.
Right.
And then I think your walkthrough, for your pre-bid was on the 14th.
Correct,
So
at 9 a.m.
it gives them enough time, and then I think we also put a 120-day contract time in there once the NTP was provided the notice to proceed. So
Yep.
it'll be done by the end of the year.
Hope so.
Yeah. Hope we don't have to rebid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
We just, we got time if something happened. We got room, but we need it done this year if we can possibly get it, just for a backup.
Yeah.
Because more and more people are coming to our landfill from other areas, so. Any other questions?
I have none. I think I've read it
Enough?
plenty of times. Okay, all
Yep.
right, Mel.
Okay.
It's out
Thank
there.
you.
Hopefully we can get something going. Appreciate it. Next on our agenda, we have a discussion as a possible resolution declaring Montezuma County as a non-sanctuary county. Ian, I'll let you take this one since you were the developer of these resolutions for us.
Yeah, so I did draft this resolution. Truth be told, it's very similar to the resolution that Mesa County adopted recently, declaring Mesa County as a non-sanctuary county. And so I did piggyback off what Mesa County did. And I think it's difficult in drafting and adopting a resolution like this because, certainly the overall purpose of a resolution like this is to assert this commission's position regarding the immigration crisis that our country is currently facing. In some ways, the county is limited as to what they can do to address the crisis. So, for instance, the county doesn't have control over the school systems. And I know that that's a huge concern for a lot of folks, that this crisis is overburdening our school systems. The commissioners don't have say over the school systems. The commissioners don't have say over, over a lot of other things in terms of, I mean, even some of the social services funding that's available, I mean, that's administered by the state. And so we can only do so much to address the crisis. Now, this resolution, is drafted with that in mind. And so, while I certainly understand that, and I mean, I think everybody can appreciate the issue that our country's facing. And I mean, I think that's an issue that's been discussed at the national level, at the state level, at the local level. There's only so much that can be done at the local level. And so, I tried to write a resolution that would reflect that. Certainly this commission has options. You guys can sign this resolution today. We didn't have a workshop on Monday, so we weren't able to dissect it word by word. If you want to table it and tweak it, you certainly can. This certainly is a hot button issue right now, and it's a very complex issue, and so it's kind of in your guys' hands as to what you want to do with this. I think what's important for the general public to understand is, the county can do some things. We can make this resolution and make this declaration, but there's a lot of other entities involved in this, and the county's ability to individually address this issue on its own is somewhat limited.
Okay. Gentlemen. do you
I
want-
I did read this 2 or 3 times, and I know it probably doesn't go far enough for some people, but other people it might go too far. So I think we've kind of hit the middle of the road, for lack of a better term. So that's my input.
Okay, Commissioner.
I guess I don't have any problem with it. I don't know that it's really necessary either, because I don't think we have any intention of becoming a sanctuary county, period. So I don't know that it's even, that this is even something that's necessary.
And
But I mean, that's just,
And I-
that's just my opinion. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Commissioner. I think I mean, that question has been asked in public to us several times now, and we've all said, number one, we don't have the resources. Number two, we don't have the money. Although, like you said, Ian, we can't address the schools. The schools are not even in our purview, so
let me just
I don't know.
Let me just throw this out there. I mean, I think that as the county deals with issues surrounding illegal immigration that directly affect this county, I mean, not directly affect, but can directly be changed by this county or influenced by this county and this board, you guys certainly could address those in a public forum, and you could address those through the county government. So for instance, I know that there's been talk of counties providing temporary housing to illegal immigrants. That's not something that we've been asked to do, and at which point there was any sort of ask, then you guys would be able to address that in the public forum. And I mean, and I think this board's position has been made clear. This resolution, it's a lot of words, but it doesn't necessarily address the individual issues that we're going to face, because we don't know exactly what we're going to face yet. I guess.
Yeah, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I think that we have made it very clear, though, in the comments that we have made and the questions that have been asked, is that we don't have the resources, number one, and there's nothing as far as housing that we could even possibly or remotely stand up for anything like this, in my opinion. I mean,
And that's just
we
an
obviously
example.
didn't- asked for this and we're not. I mean, with the statement, I think we've made our statement, so I don't know, Commissioner, I don't know
I
if
mean,
it's warranted or not.
I don't have any
I
problem
don't
with this
either, so-
resolution. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem
I
with it
think we're
at all.
making it clear to everybody else, maybe
So-
the school boards or the other boards that have to deal with it, is that we don't have any, we don't have anything to move forward with as far as the county resources that we can do to help these people at this point in time, for sure. Correct?
Yeah, I would say that I think we need to move this forward just to codify this as our statement. I mean, it's nothing more than a statement that we can't do this.
And that's fine. I mean, I have no problem with that. It's not a problem.
Kim, do you have a resolution number?
It's number 3.
I would so move we approve resolution number 3-2024. Uh-oh, we're doing something down here.
Oh, I've got 2023 instead of 2024.
Okay, yeah.
We can print a clean copy on
We'll
the.
print the copy. It's a resolution declaring Montezuma County as a non-sanctuary county and setting priorities and expectations in response to the immigration influx.
Second.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign resolution number 3, 2024.
They'll print us up another one.
A resolution declaring Montezuma County as a non-sanctuary county and setting priorities and expectations in response to the migration influx. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We can sign this one and just redo that
Yeah.
one. That one, just give it back there and put that one away. Okay, moving right along. Now, we've been discussing the sales tax pretty much in all of our workshops. We didn't have one yesterday, so we're going to discuss this today. This is a discussion related to the reduction of county services of the PSST, Public Safety Sales Tax, is unsuccessful. So, Travis, if you want to take this, I think what he's showing here is a list of all of the departments that we have within the county, and then how do we prioritize what we're going to reduce, how we're going to reduce them, or so on and so forth. I think that was the purpose of this discussion, correct?
Correct. So previously, we've talked about potential cuts and what the commissioners would like to see, and we reached out and asked the commissioners what top 3 things the commissioners would decide to cut if we don't get a PSST. And so these are all the departments within the county. We're doing some work up right now through finance with some other counties similar to our size to see where they're at with personnel and overall budgets. So some were overstaffed, some were understaffed as far as personnel. But as we look through the budget for this year, for instance, fairgrounds, a lot of that is CTF funding. But it costs a lot of money to run the fairgrounds. So this is just a discussion for the commissioners to see if there's anything in here that you would like us to focus on and identify as what we're going to cut if we have to cut.
So I think that I'll start because I'll talk about public health and social services first. So if you look at our budget, I think social services this year is around 25.5 million. Don't quote me on that number because I don't have it in front of me. But again, the county funds 0.8 of 1 mil, and that's all that we put forward to social services. Otherwise, it's in and out from the state. Public health, again, we use the last census of 26,200. We pay $1.50 per person. Everything else is in and out for public health, and I think that's about $40,000 off the top of my head what we pay for public health. Now, obviously, we house them So we have the facilities that we do provide as the county. So when you start really breaking this down per department, it really is, it's pretty lean. You know, the fairgrounds has 3 people. The county fair, we contribute very little to that right now. GIS has 2, IT department has 3, Road and Bridge 42. The 2 biggest departments are obviously Road and Bridge and the sheriff's office that come out of the general fund. So the rest of them, as you look down, the coroner office is 1, veteran services 1, treasurer's office, not sure how many are over there. The maintenance department, we have 3. I mean, it's pretty slim. The noxious weed department, we've already taken this year and done a lot of cuts to that. So, I mean, it's gonna get, I don't know. I mean, I looked at even the hours, and I believe, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody in your building are still back to 35 hours a week instead of a 40-hour work week. So, I mean, it's just out there for discussion. What are your thoughts?
I think if our PSST was to fail, to me, we would have to concentrate on our priorities as health, safety, and welfare of Montezuma County and go from there. What is health, safety, and welfare? Well, we've got a health department, but does that include the whole of the county? Does it? I mean, it sure is the health, but I guess what I'm trying to say is we can do other things as far as health in our community. Safety comes down to our DA's office or sheriff's office, even as far down as emergency management anymore. And it's gonna be tough across the board to do any of these cuts. We could look at it as a total across the board cut in a percentage. Just take the percentage of what we need and slash every department by that percentage. And it would damage some of these departments pretty hard. And so far, that's where I'm at.
Anything to add, Commissioner?
Well, I think the first thing we need to look at personally is ourselves.
Yes.
And I think we need to start right at the top and work down. Everything that we can cut out of our own stuff that we're doing. And I realize we're going to things and representing this county and trying to keep this county involved in different things that are going on here in the state and nationally. But I think some of those things we need to look at really hard as far as our priorities. It's whether it's worth what we're doing there rather than taking care of the citizens right here and keeping people's jobs right here. I think we need to look at that hard first, right off, and then go from there. I mean, we may have to, some of these offices we may have to cut back. I mean, some that have 2 and 3 employees now, and you know, when I was here previously, they had 1. We may have to go back to that. And it may just take longer for things to get done for people. That's all. That's what'll happen. Your service will not be the same. It'll be cut back to what we can provide. And that may be where we end up having to go to get back to a number that we can support and pay for. So I think all of those things will have to be looked at, but I think we ought to let people know we're going to start right with our own stuff first and work down the list. It's my opinion. But that's just one vote. So.
No, I think this is just the discussion of what, you know, because if it doesn't pass, it's, you know, where do we start with the next budget process of, you know, what are we going to do? You know, one of the things that's not on here that we obviously always look at is, and I'll bring it up again, are the insurance rates. You know, we got hit again this year. We were lucky to get by with the 8.2% increase with just health insurance, and I'm talking just one, and then move on to the others. But, you know, the industry standard, I was checking with Lynn yesterday, and they they try to get 15% every year. Well, for us, I mean, 15% of a couple $1 million becomes a large number every year that we're paying. We're mandated to have it because of over 50 employees. We've already talked about that reduction. You know, where are we going to end up? 70, 30, 25, 75. All of those things come into conversation, but those insurance rates are something else that we do pay. I know that we have adjusted everything for the structures. We went to the highest deductibles that we can possibly go to now. So those are just things that the inflationary costs are going to continue to rise, and I don't know how we backfill all of those. But those are just other things that you don't see on this list, that the people don't see on this list that we still have to deal with on a daily basis. So
The impacts of our state legislature as far as it goes to property taxes.
exactly. So, you know, like we've talked about in the past, and everybody needs to realize that as the RAR decreases, even though your valuation went up, the RAR goes down, the residential assessment rate, it moves those numbers around to where it makes it, you know, harder to deal with. But anyway, that was just part of the conversation. I just wanted to bring it up because it's not listed on here. Those are the indirect costs that we deal with on a daily basis that the average person doesn't see. They just look at the departments. But with those, every one of those departments, there are indirect costs that are associated with them.
And I think, just like we had a conversation the other evening with, me and Travis did on the sales tax with the. Yes. Anyway, there was presented to us a situation as far as the jail of a couple of other things that have already, I think they already went through the legislature, wasn't that what he was saying, Travis?
I think it's going through now.
It's going through.
Or it's going
but
through
a
now.
recommendation.
Those things go through, our cost at our jail is gonna jump a bunch, again. They passed the deal and it cost us 300 and some thousand basically for the medical services out there last year. Was the first year I think we had to go up to that standard. But these other standards are gonna, if they pass and come through, it's even gonna get worse. And if the state keeps passing these things and mandating them down to us, if they don't pay for them, I don't know where we're gonna go there, because it's just gonna increase the cost of our jail tremendously.
We won't be able to do these things, even if they say we have to. We are not gonna be physically capable of handling these mandates.
So anyway, that's, I don't know if you guys have anything else. I think it's just basically for the public to realize all of the indirect costs that we are dealing with, and that there are a lot of things that are outside of our control, specifically mandates, unfunded mandates, and moving rates around to try and take care of the front range.
And it's our other communities, you know, our towns and cities, and also our special districts are impacted by this.
Significantly.
And
All of the districts, the school
Yeah.
districts, the hospital districts, the water districts, the sanitation districts, the fire districts.
even the cemetery.
Cemetery districts will all be impacted by the RAR if it moves. So, just food for thought. Those are all the departments that we do have, that we have oversight as far as budget. And I guess that's just out there. Anything else you want to add, Travis?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, then I'm going to go ahead and move on. And Ian?
It was a pretty quiet week for me. Still waiting for a response from Ironwood on our motion to reduce the accrued fines to judgment. Working with the Fair Board to get a little bit more information to the state investigator on the situation that happened at the county fair. And so we'll just await those two things. I'll have that Fair Board thing wrapped up this week, I think our deadline's March 8th to have everything over to them. And then Ironwood's response is scheduled to come in next week, Wednesday of next week, and then we'll move forward with that.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Travis.
A few things, a lot of meetings that took up a lot of time this week. I was able to meet with the High Desert Conservation District regarding the free adafite program and potential of transferring that program to the High Desert Conservation District. A lot of discussion about the public safety sales tax. Commissioner Copenhaver and I met, I believe it was Thursday evening, with the Fraternal Order of Police, provided them some updates, some information as it related to costs, property tax reduction, Kinder Morgan, just a wide range of information, and took a couple hours. I believe we were there a couple hours that evening. Meetings with Cortez Fire regarding their finances. And the next thing I have is transfer orders that we'll need to approve. So the first transfer order is for $370, transfer order 124, from the Road and Bridge Fund to General Fund. There was a miscoding by the Noxious Weed Department. So we'll just need transfer order number 124, and then transfer order 224. Transfer $2,715 from the Capital Fund to the General Fund to, again, correct miscoded deposits by the Noxious Weed Department.
Okay. I move to approve order number 1-2024, a transfer of $370 from the Road and Bridge Fund to the General Fund to correct a miscoded deposit by Noxious Weed Department.
Second.
And I move to approve order number 2-2024, a transfer of $2,715 from the Capital Fund to the General Fund to correct a miscoded deposit by the Noxious Weed Department.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept order number 1, 2024, transfer $370 from Road and Bridge Fund to the General Fund to correct a miscoded deposit by Noxious Weed Department, and transfer order number 2, 2024, a transfer of $2,715 from the Capital Fund to the General Fund to correct a miscoded deposit by Noxious Weed Department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's no signature line on the thing as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
This past week, like Travis said, we met with the Fraternity Order of Police on Thursday evening, had a discussion about the public safety sales tax and where that money could possibly go and what it could be spent on if that initiative passes as far as funding the jail. And we basically explained to them that that's the only thing that it could go to was what we designate it for. The jail, the task force, and the sheriff's department was what we had designated it. We were talking about designating it as, and it could be used for nothing else except that, so that they understood that. I think that was one of their major questions about, explaining what would happen with that whole process. We explained to them that the commissioners would still be doing a budget for the sheriff department and the jail, but it would be for that money, and any money that wasn't budgeted for that year would carry over to the next year in that same budget. We couldn't do anything else with it. It would stay in an account for that department, for those departments. I think the explanation of the whole fact that we were intending to decrease the mill levy on the other side in order to offset what we increased, other than what we're going to be short, the million or so that we've been short the last couple of years, whatever that worked out to. I think that explanation of our intent to not really grow the county government, but to be able to fund those departments through this sales tax and take the load off the property owners. I think it went over well. Most of those guys were really receptive to it. I also had a conversation at the meet and greet on Friday night with quite a few folks that were at that meet and greet. They asked me about the same thing and what our intent was and how we were going to do it. And most of them were really receptive to the fact that we were willing to decrease the mill levy on the other side to offset part of the increase that this is going to possibly bring. So I think most people were very receptive of it. So we'll see how that works out. The other thing I had this week, we had a adult aging agency meeting yesterday, and it was mostly over personnel issues, and I have to discuss that later, I guess, at some point. I did inform Travis about some of our actions, but other than that, that's just a few phone calls from people and not much else going on.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner Lindsay.
Yes, attended by Zoom of a Housing Solutions Board meeting. That was about a 2.5-hour meeting. And just to report, somebody needs housing help, please give them a call. They can help you with rent and other necessities, if at all possible. They're sound financially. They don't have a lot of money in the bank, but they're doing well. So other than that, I did attend a city council meeting, and from opening to close, it was 27 minutes. It was a pretty quick meeting. And but in that 27 minutes, there was some pretty good discussions that they had. I would encourage you to go on YouTube and take 27 minutes and watch the city council. Other than that, a few phone calls, out around talking to people, and the public safety sales tax does come up, and I'm getting some positive feedback if we just maintain what we're doing and we lower the property taxes on the other side if this passes. As you've seen the list today, that's what we're faced with. So out there talking, have them give us a call. Have them send us an email. Come see us. We'll be glad to help you out. And the only other thing I have, which kind of surfaced over the weekend, was that our EV charger at the annex is working, but it's not getting much use because it equates to about $4 or $1 a kilowatt. And basically what you pay at your house is a lot less than that. So I would suggest we lower our fees at the EV charger to somewhere around 12 cents a kilowatt for off-peak and about 26 cents a kilowatt for on-peak. But that's just a suggestion.
What does the city charge for theirs?
I do
Do
not
we
know.
know?
$5
Yeah,
Can we check and?
we charge basically $4 an hour is what we're charging.
Is that what it equates to?
Yeah,
$4 an hour? It takes about an hour to
yeah.
get them about
But
50% down the road.
it's up and running, but nobody's using it because of the expense. So I don't know how we compare with Mancos and Cortez and the other place. I know Cassis has one. I don't know what they charge.
Okay.
So we might check our rates. And that's all I have.
All right. Well, I also attended a Housing Authority meeting, Montezuma County Housing Authority meeting on Tuesday after this meeting. Was pretty quick and easy, just about an hour, but they usually don't go much over that. Those units are all full. We are able to start renting possibly as soon as the damage is fixed on the old building that we were occupying as an office over on Linden and Washington. That will be occupied by somebody else here soon. Was able to attend the grand opening with Commissioner Lindsay down at Love's. Pretty nice grand opening. And I think they said at that point in time down there, they were employing like 42 40, 42,
Something like that.
45 people. So it is a 24/7 operation. It has made a great difference of what that southern area looks like now. Just one more addition, and it's finally got a cleaned up mess that was down there for many, many years, and now it is a lot better. And they do, we actually had a walk through the kitchen area, and they do prep all of their daily foods right there, just like you would see at Maverick. So pretty interesting. Spent the next 2 days of my time really with Mel and Travis, getting that contract, the language and everything ready to go for cell 5. That occupied pretty much most of my next 2 days. Did not have a workshop yesterday. We only had one item on it, so we canceled that. And lastly, for me, I was reading over our comprehensive plan that, thank you, Commissioner Copenhaver, you were part of that working group way back in the 1990s when, and this was his statement when he was a young man, not mine. I think he's still very young, but that was his statement, not mine, about 27 years ago. And, you know, their recommendation at that point in time, believe it or not, in Chapter 11 was they recommended a 1% sales tax at that time to the commission, which then that went to Commissioner Lindsay.
And it stayed in there.
So, you know, going back and reviewing that, there's actually a lot of information there, some applicable, some not applicable today, obviously 27 years later. But if you get the opportunity, you might go back and find that document. It's there was a lot of work done on that, and pretty interesting read. And with that, then, Ms. Kim, I will also give you the opportunity if you would like. Okay. All right, gentlemen, then we have come to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this March 5th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.